Today I am reading a little. First of all, why does this keep ending it over on this side? And not much. I'll be just playing video games. Keep ending everything over on this side. I'll just keep doing what I do, like I always do, which is basically playing video games for your, aka no one's entertainment. I might play Payday 2 again. I might do... We'll see what PC games I get into. I might end up doing Payday 2 and, we'll see what PC games I get into. I feel what we will do... Okay, I get what we're gonna do. Ooh, something new from, Hunter Call of the Wild. I get what's going on. Okay, I down home get what's going on right now. Okay, Xbox has decided to try to be tough with video game developers, and hasn't really succeeded in that, because video game developers aren't gonna buckle just because what? Just because what? Microsoft says something? It's not how it'll work, but you know. No one fucking talks in the Humanity chat anymore. But they're still gonna post there. I might not read this one, but who knows. And I think... whatever. I'm waiting for that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're not reading this because ghosting, I think, is sick. Even if they are an awful excuse for a human being, so. No. Do I have Gungrave? Gungrave, I have the original Gungrave and Gungrave Overdose. Also Guilty Gear 2. And the Hulk. I also have Legacy of Kain too. Those are so tempted to fucking play Manhunt just to be an asshole. Ooh, but Armageddon's fun. Is this actually gonna load? Now, I'm gonna check to see which Armageddon this is. Unless this is just Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat. No, this is Mortal Kombat 2 Armageddon. This isn't the actual good Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So, configuration, controller, I don't have an XSplit. I don't have a XSplit controller, so just for all I know it works, but you know, I'm going to browse again. Fuck off. Fuck off. Legacy of Kain, Metabots, Medal of Honor, Seth MacFarlane's Evil Prophecy, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, Monster Hunter, the original Monster Hunter, Mega Man 7X, Naruto, Monster Hunter Europe, Manhunter. Let's just do Evil Prophecy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change it to what is this game? McFarlane's Evil Prophecy. Wow, I think Mob Crush really needs to update themselves. Of course, it's a Konami game. Fuck that, I'm not playing this game on hard. Old man, what's going on here? Who are these people? Of course, how careless of me. Allow me to introduce you to the lovely young lady, Miss Delphine de Soras, and that's Mr. Susano, okay? Both of you, I'd like you to meet Mr. Logan Blackheart. That's not what I meant. I meant, what I want to know is, why am I in the same room with a little girl and a tourist? Huh? How rude. You're a rude one, aren't you? I'm a werewolf hunter. We're at the request of Dr. Hans. I'm also here at Dr. Jagger's request. I have traveled many miles from Africa as a warrior to fight evil. I'm no tourist. Ah, he's a Zulu warrior. Old man, I don't have time to play house with these two. If we're done here, I'm leaving. I'll be back after I killed all these monsters. Logan, just listen for a minute. I've selected both of them because they will make excellent partners. Well, you're the one with the gold, so do whatever you want. But if they're coming along, I'll need to be in charge. I'll need to charge extra for babysitting and sightseeing. You should learn to shut your mouth, barbarian. Otherwise, you might get hurt. If I were you, I'd also watch my back. You never know when you might just end up with a bullet in your head. What the hell are you saying? Now, this isn't the time and place for a fight. Save that anger for when you'll be fighting these monsters. No need to worry. I do not fight petty battles. That's what is our first mission. There are a great number of werewolves and wolfmen near here. Their leader, the werewolf, will be our first target. But I believe that Daphne has more knowledge than I do, considering this topic. Unlike his minions, the werewolf can't be killed by normal means. Luckily for us, my family knows his only weakness. I'll say killing all those cursed werewolves. Just sit here and drink your tea, old man. We'll be back in no time. What are you talking about? I'm coming with you. What? You must be joking, sorry, but an old man like you would just get in the way. In my country, we respect the wishes of our elders, but I will not allow a normal person to needlessly expose themselves to danger. There's no need to worry. I have power of science on my side. Power of science? Oh, that's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's not a normal person. Electricity, to be precise. Whatever. Let's just get out of here already. I'm sick of all this talking. Okay. Oh man, what's this place? Is this some kind of graveyard? This is an epicenter of all unusual activity being reported in the newspapers lately. This stone movements are dictated by an ancient band of wise men who, according to legend, saved the world from the darkest ages ago. It is said that the forces of evil were sealed away by their power. Till this day, there are people in these parts who tell stories of the four great sages, the wisest and the most powerful of the wise men. The legend has it that these four sages were able to gain mastery over each of the four cardinal elements of magic. However, their memory has faded with the flow of time, and these days there are but a few who know the stories. These ancient states are known. Statues are nothing more the symbol of good fortune. Is said to watch over and protect travelers in this area. In any case, we haven't much time. There are clues that okay. I feel something. These have great power. They're trying to tell us something. Well, it looks like there's something carved in the statue based on. Let's take a look. Oh! Okay. Okay, so I can use all three of them at any time, but I will use Daphne. Wiselander, wielder of the four ancient magic, seek the four great sages. If truly you have been chosen, they shall open their hearts to you. Okay. Greetings, Warrior of Lightning and friends. Listen carefully as I explain to you the basics of battle. Use the square button use the square button to attack using each of your unique weapons. Press O to perform a jump attack using your weapons taken up. However, using your weapon will consume MP, the yellow gauge. When your MP is low, you can refill it by scoring hits on your enemies. Finally, you can use it at plus N to perform a unique special attack. Warrior of Flame, you can unleash earth-shattering throws. Warrior of Magic, you can summon spirits of the jungle to your aid. Warrior of Lightning, you can use your powers of electricity to distort time and space. And that breaks the flow of time to the whole. Finally, Warrior of Light, you can borrow the power of the Holy Mother to heal your allies. Use your unique abilities to aid each other and overcome the difficulties ahead. Okay, so... Okay, so... Now, who does this one want to talk to? Welcome, Warrior of Flame and companies. Behold, ahead of you lies many difficult obstacles you will need to overcome. To succeed, you must learn to grow and become stronger. Each of you have 4 types of combination attacks that will gain levels as you use them. As the combo levels rise, you will be able to attack and unleash attacks with greater and more destructive power. An increase in your combo level also signifies increases level and experiences or whatever. However, if you do not fight, your combo levels will never rise. As you proceed in your quest, your enemies will only become stronger. You will not be able to defeat them as you are now. You must gain experience and raise your levels before you can succeed. Okay. I guess he would want to talk to this guy. Hello. Greetings, Warrior of Magic and Commerce. Forged from the shadows, the magical sub-weapons will be valuable to will be valuable. These weapons have been crafted to match each of your special abilities. Only by using weapons that are best suited for your abilities can you unlock their full power. When you find wooden crates, destroy them to reveal the magic weapon that it contains. Pick it up by using square, attack with X, or the pink button, the triangle button or whatever. No, whatever. Also, note that square may be used in an X button in certain situations. Weapons can be taken from enemies and will also vary effectiveness depending on who wields them. Okay. And now, only her is left. No. Yeah, only her is left. Welcome, Warrior of Light and Companions. Allow me to tell you of the elemental powers that you possess. Each of you have been born with a certain elemental alignment in your blood. Since your birth, your elements have guided your development. For Logan, it's the element of flames. Susanoo, it's element. Hans, it's granted with lightning, and your Delphine is the power of holy light. As you embark on your quest to know that your enemies too are aligned with the elements. Enemies may be weak to certain elements and be resistant to others. By finding your enemies' weaknesses, you can kill them quickly. You may also be guaranteed magical powers that symbolize the Idadale with you. Use R2 button to unleash the elemental magic. When using magic, you can select a partner to combine your powers. However, keep that in mind that some magical combinations may utterly destroy your foes. It is possible for a certain combination to have no effect at all. Thus, you must choose your combinations wisely. Finally, you must remember that using magic consumes MP yellow bar. Therefore, please consider your situations carefully before using magic attacks. I'm not gonna have any people to work for anymore if she keeps fucking not recording with me on Sunday. Fuck. I only have 4 people left who actually want to work with me anymore. Therefore, please consider your situation carefully with these magic attacks. Okay, so I have a feeling this is the pressing. Okay. Okay, so That's where we came from. Hi, Panda. Okay, so This is a McFarlane game. Okay. Oh. This game's fun, but it has to be something or something. Okay. What I will be doing is I'll be reading this. Whoa. Be reading this while I think of another game that I want to play.
True combo of the ages.
Yep.
Sorry, MVP. Why would we drive separately on the first day? After my freshman year of college, I met a guy on OkCupid. We went on a dinner date. We went to get dinner on Friday, our first day. He offered to give me a ride home, but I said no. He was a couple years older, well-dressed, and started talking about how he started his own business and how it was going well. Good for him. He was bragging, but hey, that's an accomplishment. So after I ordered, he said, "Let's play a game. Each take our wallets and compare what's in them." This wasn't a joke. He literally started showing me his credit cards and bragged about his high limits. He ended with, "Clearly, you can't afford to pay dinner, but don't worry, I can cover you." I was angry and protested, but he wouldn't take it out for an answer. After we left, he wanted to show me his car. Unfortunately, it was before mine in the lot. So I walked by it. It was white, windowless, serial killer van. He bugged me to hook up with him in it, right there in the Friday parking lot. I was pretty glad I drove separately. Wow, you're kind of a bitch. I mean, I guess haters gonna hate, but I guess she's just. I'm joking, guys. I guess she's just pissed he has more money than her. At least the servers tried to come to the rescue. I met a guy on a dating site in the photo. He sort of looked like Kevin Smith. I got to the restaurant, ordered a drink, and I told the waiter I'd be meeting a blind date, so make it a strong one. The guy I met looked like Mo from the Three Stooges, but in thinner, same haircut. No. He proceeded to tell me that he lost all the weight due to medical issues, and I did not press any further because we were having dinner and drinks. He worked at a gaming store, so he took off his work shirt to reveal several stained white undershirts. There were a lot. We were talking yellow pits to the max here. You're kind of a bitch. While talking about art, I noticed he kept scratching his upper arm under his shirt sleeve. I asked if he asked if I wanted to. I said, "Sure." Then lifted it where it covered it. There was a cross tattoo on his arm, was covered in acne, which was what he was scratching at. We were at a Tex-Mex place. I ordered another drink. He ordered a meal. I told the waiter several times that and the meal came while talking. He used one of his long fingers to scratch the inside of his nose. He proceeded to clean the underside of his fingernails on the stack of napkins in the center of the table, so his boogers were for all to see. When I thought I had enough liquor courage, the waiter came by, and my date guy flipped out on him because he found a tomato on his con queso dip. He proceeded to pray, "I cannot have tomatoes, dude, because I have irritable bowel syndrome." I wanted to die. Everyone was staring at us. He excused himself that shortly after the waiter came flying over and said, "Hey, if you need to split, don't worry. Me and the girls can cover your drinks." I was so grateful, but I didn't want to be mean, so I waited. The waiter brought back the check, and Mo, patting his hand several times, said, "Oh dang, I forgot my wallet. Let me borrow your cell, and I'll call my mom to have her grab it off my dresser and bring it." I don't think I ever paid a check so fast enough in my life. After a day, he emailed me and asked me I told him I couldn't, and I didn't feel like we were clicking. He called me shallow, and it kind of sounds like you are shallow. Okay, I have a feeling I'm gonna get crucified for the shit I'm saying. Oh wait, I never do, because no one ever watches my videos. I kinda wish feminists would attack me right now. Yeah. Make things more interesting. Yes, Asians actually pay for this. Yes, people actually pay to do this with people. About a year and a half ago, a guy from work asked me, and I had been his manager for a while, and always considered him kind of cute. At the time, our company was going out of business, and I was 3 months single, and there was no reason why I should turn him down because of the day. I was a little nervous because my first time out of a 4 year, he seemed sweet. First red flag should have been, despite owning a car, he let his license expire because driving scares him. I drove about an hour to picked him up at his house and asked where we were going. He directed me to the nearest. I was thinking, okay, we're going to go window shopping and grab a coffee. Kind of teenage, but maybe seriously. But I could use something less serious right now. I got there, and the first thing he did was point to the sculpture that looked vaguely Renaissance. Okay, I guess it's silly. He might have a mental condition. How long is the story? Manager expired because driving scared him. Okay, maybe goof off, teenage, but when I got to the first year of private, okay, I guess it is silly that we seem to be the only ones to shopper who noticed it, but he kept laughing about it way after the humor died. He kept pointing and laughing to himself, and when he walked straight to the corner of the mall where the Rainforest Cafe is. I've been to the Rainforest Cafe. We have a Rainforest Cafe here at the Mall of America. I think we still do. But it has good knickknacks and shit, but I liked the food. The food was okay, but every time when I was a kid, when I got pizza there was always those gross, what I call pizza onions, like the way overly strong. We were walking to the gift shop when the host was standing. The guy immediately requested a seat next to the Uncharted Gorilla. I must have given him a weird look because he turned and said, "They're my favorite." We got to the seat next to a family of rubber gorillas who making automatic motions, So I asked Wishin, children's venue. She said yes. Next thing I knew, I was bringing back mixed drinks in one of those giant smoothie holders with a giant cartoon orangutan headlet on it, filled with Coca-Cola. I asked kind of sheepishly because it looked like I was talking to a son. Apparently gave birth at the age of 2. Apparently gave birth at age 2 out of dinner. Yeah, I really didn't like those kinds of drinks. And this one came with the toy. I wanted. Plastic monkey inside. The rest of the meal spent him trying to convince me that we should tell the witness it's my birthday. For free Sunday to the sparklers, me using my napkins to wipe away the tear. And Sunday after with sparklers on top of it. And me using my napkins to wipe away the tears of regret. Then I drove him home. I just thought of something. No. Yeah, he might be stunted. This one actually made me really fucking uncomfortable. See, this is why I don't go out. This is why I choose not to go out, because in my own home, people can't really judge me for what I want to do. This guy, he is... He might be 5 years old mentally, lady. Don't judge him very much. he might not have. He might be an. He might be a VA, a vulnerable adult, not a veteran. But he might be, unless he was in the army and got a head injury. He might have gotten a head injury, though, that turned him into this. Who knows? I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to guess. She eventually... Oh my god. Chill, bro. What the Chill, bro. It's a ma'am! What the fuck? Funny. I'll save this. I'm not gonna erase this once I'm done. I'm gonna... the guy I knew through a few acquaintances asked me out the other day. He lived in Philly. I lived in New Jersey at the time, about an hour away. I had nothing to do that night, and he was kind of cute. Oh my god, quit doing the cliche, he was kind of cute type thing. That's fucking obnoxious. So I thought I would go. What's the worst that could happen? Awkward conversation and a free meal. I figured, heck, I went down to Philly and picked him up at his place. He didn't have a car, so he apologized for making me drink. We went out to a super posh restaurant and had an amazing meal. I was about 19 at the time, so most of my dates did not involve $200 meals. So I was basically floored at the baller status of this kid. No one ever had taken me out to a restaurant this fancy, except for my dad when he took my family out on Christmas Eve. After we ate, he was like, on the ride home, I have to swing at my friend's house. I just have to run in and drop something off. Do you mind? It's right on the way. Then I'll even drive your car there since you don't know the city. For some reason, my donut agreed to let him drive my car. As we were driving, it's plain to see that the neighborhood was totally sketchy. He pulled up in the front of a rundown house and told me that he'd be right back. I was sitting in a car freaking out this way. He came back 5 minutes later and said, "Here, hide this in your purse." He touched me a large baggie, a giant ball of crack. I was talking the size of a softball. Just that moment, the police cruiser pulled up behind my car, obviously running my plates. I'm sure the cop figured out the only reason it would be in Philly would be that my date drove off and the cops followed us a few blocks and then finally turned out to another street. The entire time my heart was in my throat. I kept thinking that what my parents were going to say. I was a pretty good kid, never really messed around with anything illegal, so I was beyond scared. He called me for a second date. Needless to say, I didn't go. Okay. She's just saying that because she's poor. Okay, in college, I will be right back. college class asked me out of the blue to go out with him out of the blue. We'd never even talked, but he was pretty cute. So I said, sure. This is how babies are made. People being stupid, saying yes to cute guys. We exchanged numbers, and he said, he called me with detail. He called me the next day and told me that we were going to a restaurant that was way out of my price range. We were talking like, no way, the bill will be under. I tried talking him out of it, saying I couldn't afford something like that. He insisted and told me not to worry. This really all should have been a clue for me. So I said fine and agreed to go. We got to the restaurant, the waiter came over, went to the orders, the cheapest thing on the menu, and my date stopped me and said, ignore her, we're both having steak. I don't like steak, I protested. He said, she's just saying that because she's poor, we'll have steak, and shooed the waiter away. I was mortified and angry. I wanted to leave, but he was my rep. He tried to make conversation, proving to me that he really was, to prove to me that he really was a prick. He said I had to go to the bathroom. He had to go to the bathroom, and I left. I was sitting there for a good, and left. I was sitting there for a good, I got the runs from the drink last night. Don't eat without me. That was the last straw. I called the waiter over, paid for my meal, and went to Starbucks on the street and called my friend to pick me up. A girl I just met asked me out. She wanted to take me to dinner. We ended up in a little Italian place because she says she knows someone who works there. Our waiter arrived. He appeared visibly shaken and startled. She introduced me to him. This was the friend she mentioned before. I could see right away that this guy had a thing for her. And there she was, introducing me to her date. She then bugged him for the special order and asked if we could get our meals free. He seemed really upset, but gave her the anything for you look and agreed. I declined and paid for my own meal. I really felt bad for the guy. I could see the torment of watching this girl date someone else. She was a very attractive and friendly person. I assumed he just got friend zoned and hung with her a few more times. I hung with her a few more times but backed up. Later I found out the guy was her ex-boyfriend, who she had dumped a few days before and had been dating since high school. Okay, now see, this is why sometimes if a woman tells me, oh, my last ex was bad, this is why I say, okay, yeah, your ex might be bad, but then there are women like this, and that kind of just, there's just too much cruelty. Years ago, my friend called me up and said, hey, I got a friend who needs a date tonight. She's really cute and funny. She's going to a barbecue with her ex-BF, and F is going to be there, and she just wants a good guy in her arm to make sure he doesn't bother her. Given that I haven't had a decent date in months and seemed like really nice and foolish of me, foolish me decided to say it. She showed up and picked me up in her car to take me to the barbecue. We made a small talk, and I learned she was a high school dropout, and I valued intelligence in a date, but hey, I know these things happen, so I tried to go without judging. She was pretty cute, which didn't hurt. She drove to the middle of the suburb and got out of her car to go to the, and turns out that we're the first ones there, which is okay, fine. I like to be early. The only people in the house were the hostesses, whom I call Mrs. Crazy and the host, Mr. Crazy. The hostess, Grandpa Old Crazy. Oh, that is the best. You. The trouble seemed when we were not followed outside to the backyard. Reed! Oh, thank God. Okay. We're not fun. Glanced through the window to show that there was no barbecue set up, but still, I shrugged this off and I tried to make small talk and be polite to Mrs. Crazy if she knew my friend who set me up on a blind date with this girl. Mrs. Crazy responded venomously. Do you mean the guy who got me sent to prison because me and caused me to lose my baby? I replied in shock. Turned out that my idiot reported her for stealing from his job while she was locked up for the night. She had gotten into a fight with another lady inmate. My date took Mrs. Crazy aside and they had a conversation. It was decided I was allowed to stay as my date convinced her it wasn't my fault that my friend got her arrested for stealing. Hooray! Half an hour passed. Uncomfortably, I asked what they'll be. Mrs. Crazy said, "Oh yeah, I guess we should go outside." So we headed outside. Everyone sat down, including Mrs. Crazy, Crazy Jr., got up and waddled around the backyard in poop-filled diaper as Old Crazy mumbled to himself in a chair. Everyone else was still seated. I looked at Mr. Crazy, looked around for a grill, and looked back at me. Mr. Crazy looked back at Mr. Crazy. So when did the other guests arrive? I asked, well, I don't know, probably. We should wait for them. Mrs. Crazy replied, Mr. Crazy, with a shrug. I glanced over at my date, who smiled apologetically. I nodded and smiled at Mr. Crazy. I was raised with good manners and began politely waiting for the other guests. Flash forward to 2 freaking hours. Nobody else had showed up. Mr. and Mrs. Crazy showed no signs of this being odd or of any urge to grill or cook meat. Eventually, they and my date meandered back inside. Staying outside with Crazy Jr., who was still running around in his own feces. I suppose is supposed to be guarding Old Crazy, and I were getting pretty angry at this situation. I was hungry. There was no food, just nasty drinks, which I wouldn't drink on a full stomach, much less an empty one. Eventually, I went outside to find my date. Crazy and we were talking. I asked my date politely if she could, that her ex-boyfriend would show up, with a strong hint that I actually meant nobody's going to show up. It was a strong hint that I actually meant. She shrugged. Maybe. It had been almost 3 hours with no food in the home. Somebody who hated one of my friends, who was now stuck in the suburbs with no idea on how to get home. I didn't have money for a cab or know the address. My phone wasn't a smartphone back then. At this point, I insinuated I really should be gone. My date pouted and said, No, don't leave. We can play games. I counted to 10 in my head and thought, fine. We'll play some games of categories or something when I finally leave this awkward place. Maybe now that it was abundantly clear that nobody showed up, they may even cook or grill some meat or at least a frickin' hot dog. As I followed them downstairs into the rec room in the basement, God only knows what happened to Old Crazy and Crazy Jr. After that At this point, I loudly asked Mrs. Crazy if he was going to barbecue anything. He said, yeah, food, and said, seriously, that... He said, yeah, food, and he said, seriously, that was his phase, and I'll go cook something up. Mrs. Crazy, you get everyone started. Mrs. Crazy got me and my date seated on the couch and then asked me a question. Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons before? I stared at her at this point in the night. I've never tabletop RPG, and the idea of doing so with a group sounded like appalling as it was. No, I told her, and at least enthusiastic, but never. She didn't. You're gonna be in for a treat. Mrs. Crazy is an awesome dungeon master. She handed me a frickin' tome the size of a textbook and I stared at it. This was definitely not frickin' categories. Mrs. Crazy handed me some dice and started to explain the rule, most of which I ignored, and as I was staring at my date trying to communicate with my face that I was frickin' done. Time to leave now. In fact, the time for leaving was 3 hours ago. My date, however, was too enamored in the magical freaking adventure we were apparently about to embark on, or even care about me anymore. Frickin'. Finally, the kicker, I heard Mr. Crazy coming downstairs. Thank God. I thought at least this terrible date would have some kind of food. I was starving. I was so hungry at this point, I thought I'd eat anything, no matter if he charred it or handed me a hot dog with no bun. No. He didn't bring down grilled hamburgers or hot dog. He brought down a big plate of fish sticks. Half-cooked, room temperature freaking fish sticks. And the worst part is, I was so hungry, I ate 5 of them before the taste made me sick. I shuffled these rancid half-cooked pieces of fish in my face as he was asking me what my character class I was, what race I was, and so on. You know, I have an idea. I know what I'm gonna play. I know what games I'm gonna play. We're gonna play this, and this. Okay, guys? Oh, and this too. Race I was and so on. I ended up giving him random answers. I ended up being a goblin, werewolf warrior, or some random bullcrap. I didn't even remember. All I was really thinking is, God, these are totally disgusting. I'm so hungry. I want to go home now on a loop. He tried starting our magical adventures into I didn't give a crap arena, but I told him I needed to use the bathroom. I have tempted to immediately puke. I ran into the bathroom and heard old Crazy and Judith crying in the distance. I locked the door and proceeded to text everyone I knew with a car who was free to come get me. I figured that I'd just leave quietly and walk to the nearest intersection so I could find and give them directions. I contemplated texting my dear sweet friend who set me up with this on how exactly much fun I was having, but I decided I needed to scream at him in person about the night instead. Nobody came and got me. I was lost and abandoned in a suburban prison with reluctance and growing nausea. I headed back downstairs as the game began. I responded in non-committal grunts and sober words, glaring at my date. I want to leave now. I fake yawned several times and stared at my watch repeatedly. Nobody was taking the subtle hints. They were too enraptured by Mrs. Crazy dungeon mastering, droning description, and hatched hints of orcs' corpses, or whatever. Finally, I took my phone and hopefully started scrolling through my texts, desperately hoping someone with a car had gotten back to him on Ryan. As just loud enough that Mrs. Anna, did you say Ryan? She said, I prepared myself for the worst, so somehow my other friend set her house on fire and killed her parents or something. Yeah, I replied, why? Oh, that's the guy named Ryan. She says, obviously disgusted. Somehow someone blew the guy. Someone said he blew a guy under the bleachers, totally gay. I suddenly saw my way out of here. I've been afraid of inciting the wrath of Mrs. Crazy, but now that was my only hope out of this crap hole. It was delivered in anger. That was delivered in anger, this homophobic, thieving witch at this point. It would have only been a real pleasure. I delivered the entire evening. I never heard that about Ryan, but he and I have been friends for years, and he is gay, totally gay, great guy. I announced with a big grin on my face. We hang out with fake smile and got him and whisper Mrs. Crazy. Mrs. Crazy dismayed and to be dragged away from his human duties, his dungeon mastering duties. They went to the other room. Miracles of miracles. They finally came out and said that my date and I were having so much fun, but they were both really tired and we should probably go. I held back my sigh of relief and praised God and nodding, running up the stairs. Eventually my date came up as well and saw me standing at the door, glaring at her. She drove me home and nearly pointed, not asking if I could see her again. So I slammed the door, got out of her car, and stalked back up to my house. 5 minutes later, my friend, how did it go? He asked me. I hung up on him and didn't talk to him for 3 days, which was the amount of time it took my anger to lower from strangle you levels to yell at you levels. I have never been on another blind date since and never will again. Oh my God! What the fuck? Okay, getting through the date was rough. There had been a few, but absolutely worst was a woman who turned up at the pub with literally no money, expecting me to buy her drinks and dinner. I wouldn't have minded if she had told me beforehand, but this was completely out of the blue. So anyway, we were there making awkward conversation, or at least I tried to start a conversation. Told her about my life and asked her. She was too busy texting and phoning her friend to really take notice. Eventually, we get to talking. Out of nowhere, she told me that she killed her dog. Not accidentally either. I just up and left and avoided all contact. Even attractive people can be bags of crazy. I went on a few dates with a guy in Kai. At first, I was excited because I found him attractive, and he said yes to a dinner date. It turns out even attractive people can be a bag full of crazy. For our first date, we went to an Italian restaurant. He ordered spaghetti with regular sauce, no meatballs. Out of curiosity, I asked if he tried anything else on the menu, and he would recommend, nope, I only ordered spaghetti. When the food came, he proceeded to lean over his plate and shovel the spaghetti into his mouth, using his lips to cut the rest back onto his plate. I'm no slob. I've eaten spaghetti like that before. I've never in public. He said it's the right way to eat it. He asked if he'd like to go, but I was feeling the vibe, so I wasn't feeling the vibe, so I did it. Got up to project that I had finished. I told him that he told me that he loved me and wished we could go. and just live in one all the time. Alright. Thanks for the date. A week later, he asked me out again. I decided to give him another shot. Maybe I was being overly judgmental. We agreed to go out for a pizza and see a movie. I picked him up at his house. He went to the Pizza Hut. At his insistence, the best pizza on the planet. He told me 3 or 4 times on the way there. We got there and ordered a personal pan pizza for himself. That was a first. Maybe he didn't want to share the bill. I ordered one for myself and just let it go again. I was worried maybe I was being judgy. I was really confused when the bill came and he paid, but whatever. I'm not going to call him out, not worth it. The movie ended up going back to his house where, surprise, he lived with his parents. He asked me what I'm schooling for, and I told him. He lectured me that I should go to school for teaching since that's what he did, which I thought was rude. We never did watch a movie. Instead, we spent the rest of the time showing me all his WWE wrestling memorabilia and bossing his mother around. Cartman style. Oh, I fucking hate Cartman. He's a douche nozzle. Cartman style. His life goal was to get his old job at Blockbuster back since it was the most fun he ever had. His favorite way to spend Christmas was when his mom let him open everything the night before so he could spend the day at the movie, avoiding all relatives that came over for Christmas dinner. He hated everything that his mother cooked and counted off that the only 10 foods that he would ever eat. He hated everything else and didn't need to try it. Did I mention he's 27 years old? A few days later, he invited me for coffee, and I agreed. And tell him that we won't be going on. He was nice enough, and even though he was not about